Hi, I'm Aleksander Draskovic and I'm a proud member of the European SharePoint community. In this video, you will learn about available options and setup procedures for sharing content and collaborating with external users with SharePoint Online. Now let me take a minute to introduce myself. I'm working for a German company, the Rosa Solutions GmbH, as an enterprise architect. I'm involved in projects in the enterprise IT for more than 15 years, last 7 in almost only SharePoint projects. Since 2012, I'm a Microsoft Certified Master for SharePoint 2010 and holding the Microsoft Certified Solutions Master for SharePoint as a charter member. Now to get back to the actual content, the question may arise, of course, why should I even care about sharing stuff with somebody who doesn't even belong to my organization? There are scenarios for that, and there are a couple of approaches to this problem. Now let's picture this. We have a development company working on solutions for a number of clients. And working on all of those projects involves active collaboration on a number of design documents, project plans, and even delivering software packages to clients. Of course, client data must be kept separated and secret. Clients accessing the data relevant to them should not have any access to any data and any services not belonging to them, of course. And that looks like a scenario and a basic set of requirements. There are a couple of ways we used to address this in the past, and those ways may be valid today as well. One of them would include deploying complete extranet environment, either in a dedicated network segment in a company's network or somewhere in a data center, running on the bare hardware or virtualized. I personally have clients which still go for these options, mostly because they have very strict security policies or because legal issues caused by local laws, or simply because they don't trust cloud. All of them, of course, are very valid reasons. But in most of cases, extranet farm design included a dedicated Active Directory, which is there not only for the service accounts, but for the user accounts as well. Now, this is where actual trouble starts. Or having a dedicated Active Directory for the extranet user accounts always means one thing: doubled accounts. This also means that users have to remember and maintain at least 2 sets of credentials, which also leaves them in most cases without seamless login, which at the end of the day negatively impacts overall user experience, because nobody really wants to have to type in username and password all over and over through the working day, or night for that matter. Now, since SharePoint 2010 officially introduced claims-based authentication support, we have a couple of options. We are not solely dependent on a local Active Directory for the authentication, but now we can pull some magic with ADFS and authenticate by using Federation Trust with internal Active Directory, which would solve problems for internal users, but we still have to think about clients and all of our external users as well. As we use claims-based authentication, we can do, of course, a lot of things, and depending on requirements, and in a lot of cases there is some additional development required. At least it is used to, as things got simply with Azure Control Services. By using ACS, we can use external providers to authenticate by using, for example, Microsoft account or even Facebook account. I won't be talking today about how to set this up. Victor Willen wrote an excellent article on this topic called A Visual Guide to Azure Access Control Services Authentication with SharePoint 2010. And a link to this article is provided on the last slide. Now, I'm telling all of this just to make some of you remember the good old and hard days and to give the rest impression about the beauty of the complexity, of course. Luckily, today we have other options as well. But to use these options, major requirements requires to be fulfilled. Do not fear cloud, especially not in Office 365 case. Cloud is not evil. The beauty of Office 365 and SharePoint Online is that all you need is already there. So you don't need to set up additional infrastructure, no need to take care about maintenance, security, patching. Everything is actually done for you. And now we are coming to the point. Support for sharing content with external users is already there for you to use it. However, we have to live with some limitations. We have following types of external users in a SharePoint Online. We can use Microsoft Office 365 users from a different tenant. We can use Microsoft account, or formerly Windows Live ID, and we can allow anonymous users to access individual documents via guest link. Now you can share sites and documents with external users in SharePoint Online by sending an invitation link. Invitation link must be sent to either Microsoft account or Office 365 account. Only site owner or the user with full control permissions can share the content with external users. Now, of course, not everything that works for full-fledged Office 365 user in your tenant will work for external users. Reason for this have partially technical and infrastructural background and partially licensing background. Let's see what kind of things won't work for external users. External users won't be able to create their own personal sites, edit their profile, change their photo, or see aggregated tasks. External users don't get their own OneDrive for business document library. They cannot be an administrator for a site collection. They cannot see company-wide news feed, add storage to overall tenant storage pool, assess the search center or execute searches against everything. They cannot access site mailboxes. They don't have access to Power BI features, such as Power View, Power Pivot, Quick Explore, or Timeline Slicer. They cannot use e-discovery. They cannot use Excel services features. They cannot use SharePoint Online data connection libraries, and they cannot use Visio services. So if you don't require any kind of these features for external users, you are good to go. Now that we got our basics right, let's see how to configure SharePoint Online for sharing external content with external users.
Let's see on a practical example how the sharing with external users is activated. For our example, we want to share our external project site with Bob. Bob is an external consultant which should write a design document for our coming infrastructure rollout. Bob uses Outlook.com services, therefore he has an active Microsoft account. In the next few steps, we will allow Bob to access our external project site collection and send him an activation email. To do so, we have to log on to the Office 365 Admin Center. From there, we will open SharePoint Online Admin Center by clicking Admin and then SharePoint in the top navigation. Now we are presented with the list of site collections we have in our SharePoint Online tenant. The sharing with external users is disabled by default, and this is an option which must be enabled on the site collection level first. We will select external site collection and click on Sharing button in the ribbon. Now we are presented with three options. First option will disable sharing with external users. Second will allow sharing with authenticated users only. And the third option will give our site owners option to share the content with anonymous users via guest link. For demonstration purposes, we will select the third option and click Save. It can happen that you will have to wait for a couple of minutes, as applying these settings can take some time. Now that the settings are applied, let's give permission to Bob and send him the invitation. For that, we will open the site we want to share with him and click on Share. Now let's type his Microsoft account ID in the first box. And personal message in the second box. Under Show Options, we can define which permissions will be assigned to Bob. In the Select Group of permission level, we will see all SharePoint groups and permission levels that we can assign assigned to our users. As Bob must upload and edit documents on the site, let's put him in a members group and click the share button. SharePoint will send email to Bob now with the further instructions. Our job is done at this point. As a last point, let's take a look on how to generate an anonymous guest link. First of all, we need to have an appropriate option checked in the SharePoint Online Admin Center. This is basically the option that we activated a couple of minutes ago. Option to allow both external users who accept sharing invitations and anonymous guest links. This option must be activated on our site collection, which we want to allow for external sharing. Now, if you are searching for an option to generate guest links for a site, library, or even a folder itself, you are out of luck, because this option is not present. This mechanism allows you to generate guest links only for individual documents. Now let's take a look how this works on this document in our documents library. We will open menu, click on a share, and we will see get a link from the left side. Let's click on this link, and we will be presented with two options: to create a guest link to allow anonymous users to either view or to edit a document. We'll click on create a link under view only and copy this link to a clipboard. Now let's open a new browser window, and let's paste this guest link we just generated and open this page. As you can see, we won't be presented with authentication challenge. We don't have to type a username and password. We are basically shown as anonymous user, in this case as a guest reader. So be careful about what you are sharing on this way, because anybody who has this link will be able to open a document and see its contents. As you can see, this guest link is pretty long, so if you want to shorten it a little bit to make it easier to type it, you can use services like Bitly or similar to make short links.
Now, with that being covered, I want to thank you for watching this how-to video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it will help you with sharing the content with your partners and vendors, or any other external users for that matter. If you are interested in getting more information about sharing content with external users, please watch Jasper's 1 hour webinar on this topic and visit the following links to get some more information on the topic. Thanks again, and thank you for enjoying the European SharePoint community.